Okay, dokie. Nope, I did that the wrong way. Stop presenting. Present from here. Boom. Okay. We're good. We're good. All right, how's everyone? Good. You guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right. Let's join the call on now. Okay, let's go through it, guys. All right. We're gonna bang Q&A today and role play. All right. So let's get amongst it, and we'll go through it. We'll try and keep it focused on objection handling, but if it goes a bit rogue, I'm totally fine with it today. All right. So just come up to the bat, raise your hand in the thing, and then from there we'll go from there. Who wants to go first? Either role play or have a question. Usually I have to stop you guys from asking questions, so I assume you should be good to go. No one? No one wants to go?
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Can
Shut
I? Okay. So, when I have a conversation, typically prospects, they come to the gym and they're there face to face.
Yep.
Discovery, presentation, then
Okay.
I break down the pricing point, and then suddenly they start checking timing. And then they, oh, I need to run, I need to go to work, etc., etc. And I don't know how to stop that from happening.
Okay, well, did they, like, how long is the meetings going for?
Around 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Yep, sweet. And did you ask them how much time they had, like at the beginning? Because the context of that is it's like a quick walkthrough.
No, I never asked. I actually think that it might induce something that they might push back, say, oh, because they start the conversation saying like, oh, I just got like few minutes right now during lunch break or after work to have a quick look. I'm here to have a quick look.
Then they're there to have a quick look. You got to figure out a way to make most of that happen faster, right? Like, if the problem is, though, like, if you're trying to combat the thing that's actually happening,
Yeah.
right, then that's a bit tough.
So my question is, I'm not sure that it's actually the real objection. I think they're just trying to run away and they use it as an excuse.
Well, it's a difficult one to figure out. But first of all, like, with the context of what you sell, because you're selling gym memberships, like, basically walk-ins and stuff like that, like, they probably don't have a ton of time, which is why, like, the whole point is to get that done quickly. That's why when I did that role play with you the week, it was like I did it really fast. It was like 5 minutes and we were done. Right? If you're taking 20, 25 minutes to sell me a gym membership, I'm not here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm like, what are we doing here? Just fucking let that, you know what I mean? Like, you need to be able to bang it out quickly. 10 minutes is more than enough to go through what you need to go through. Otherwise, you're making it too hard. You're making it harder than what it has to be.
Yeah, and I feel like
it's a simple sale. It's not rocket surgery.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Surgery, definitely not. Okay, yeah, I got it. I will shorten it.
Yeah, just like minimum possible, and then you'll be fine. And then go from there. All right. Deucin?
Yeah, you got it right, man. It's Deshaun. Can we do role plays aside from objection handling, or is it just objection handling?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, so I'm a setter. We sell leads for roofers. So can we do a role play with you? Just being like a tough prospect, just flipping on me. That's kind of the main thing I'm struggling with.
You say what? Sorry.
So it's like it's like an outbound call, and most people just flip it on me. Like, what do you guys do? Like, who you are? Like, how can you help me out?
All right, coolio. Hey Jay, could you be my prospect for me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah. So leads for roofers, Jay.
Leads for roofers.
I'll
just Just try and bully him. Not like to a crazy
Yeah,
amount, just like, 7 out of 10.
Can I have a Russian accent?
If you want.
I'm just-
That makes you happy, Jay? You can have a Russian accent.
Hey, man, when you do all the calls we do, we just need to joke on calls, dude. I need some humor to that. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Jay.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, Jay? This is just the Shawnee with Spray from Audit. It looks like a couple weeks ago back, you probably don't even remember this. You filled in an application about possibly like getting more commercial leads so you can like scale your roofing business up. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. And have you like found what you're looking for, or are you still like potential looking though?
I just was curious to see what you guys do and want to learn more.
Yeah. For sure, man. We can definitely go like what we do, but like I'm not even sure if we can help you out. So I guess just to see if we can even do that, like, I guess what are you looking for kind of specifically? Like when it comes to going to business, getting more leads, more estimates, and all that jazz.
I just want to get more people into my business, man. I just want to cash flow. Isn't that what we all want?
Yeah, obviously, man. I guess what have you kind of seen in the business that's making you feel like you don't have enough people coming in right now?
I can't afford my truck. I want a Jeep.
What does that mean?
I want a new car. I want a best car. I want a new car. I want to get more staff, I'm more people.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, man. I guess what kind of system do you have in place now that's kind of causing you to just want a better truck?
You're just saying sales words.
Sales words,
but you're not making any cogent sense. It's like you've taken a script that was given to you. Like there's you know what I mean? It's like adding in like any PQ style words for the sake of it. That's what it sounds like to me. So when you're doing outbound, you're not cold calling, right? Are you doing outbound or cold calling?
I mean, most of the leads are like maybe like a month, 2 month, year lead, so it's not like they booked a call or something like that.
Well, okay, but did they opt in?
Yeah. I mean, but it was a couple of months ago back, so it kind of is opt-in. So
okay, so you have to specifically design your script around exactly what you're doing, right? So like outbound of new leads, outbound of age leads, outbound of cold calling, like outbound when it's lead magnet, outbound when it's like they just went through a VSL and didn't book. All of those are different scenarios, right? So using the same opener for everyone is kind of silly. But what you want to do, like the problem is if you're using too many of those like neutral words, like what you're doing, looks like you're possibly maybe could be, you know what I mean? It just sounds like you're calling for like an inane reason. Right? So, but if the whole point is just to book a call, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you guys help roofers get more leads.
Yeah, that's what we do, yeah.
All right, sweet. And so how much information do you actually need from them?
I'm just trying to find a problem and then book them for the second call from like Rationale down below.
Okay.
Or like a sales call.
Okay, cool. So it can be nice and simple. You can just be like, I don't do it for you, but you can be nice and simple and just way more to the point.
In what way though?
Like literally, so you don't have to, first of all, get rid of the like possibilities and stuff like that, because like you don't sound confident enough to use that. So if you use neutral words and language when you're not really confident, it makes you sound like a pussy, right? Not that you are one, I'm just saying it makes you sound like that way, because it's like if you're leaned out and you're neutral and then like you're passive, and it's just like a stacking of like neutrality that leads someone to be like just really weak, right? Just sound that way. And that's not like alpha, like raw. It's just, in order to like have someone to have the confidence that this is a good move, then there has to be some confidence and conviction there, right? So, and until you get like sort of really sharp with your words and really like forthright with your tonality, then don't use neutral words, right? So try it again and just simplify it. Just like say less words. It's like, hey man, like, so you did this, how can I help? What are you looking for? Okay, you've been doing it for a while, and try and use less words when you're probing instead of like wrapping it in like a sales package. So, it's like, hey, I'm just looking for more leads. And you said something along the lines of like, well, what has you thinking that you could possibly need more leads now? It's like, that's just sales nonsense. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, why's that? You know what I mean? And it just simplifies.
Gotcha.
And then when you're dealing with contractors, like you don't get the luxury of kind of pussyfooting around. Like I used to sell contractors, and it's just like, what fuck? What are you doing? You fucking what? What are you doing? Fuck. You know what I mean? And it's just like, all right, cool. And you just more to the point. Just does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
And just a quick question: when, for example, like when Jay asked me, like, okay, so I'm just curious, like, what do you guys do? Should I just be like, yeah, I'm not even sure if we can help you out, man. So is it cool that you understand a little better, like what you're looking for, where you're trying to get to?
well, it depends if he's asking like, what do you do? Is in like, who are you? Because like, if I opted in a month ago, 2 months ago, I just might not really know who you are and what you do. So the first thing you have to do is like, hello. So I'll just do it. Like we'll do it simply, Jay. Hey, Jay.
Hey,
Hey, Jay. It's just Matt from XYZ. How are you?
good man. How are you?
Good. Hey, it looks like, I don't know, it's probably a month ago, and you might not remember this. You asked us to give you a call about, maybe getting some more leads through your roofing business. Does that kind of ring a bell?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think so. I think I booked a call or
Yeah,
reached
for
out.
sure, man, for sure. And you might have got a few calls from us for whatever reason. I wasn't able to get through to you. What was the kind of, what kind of sparked your interest into getting us to reach out?
Yeah, I was just curious to see what you guys do. Maybe you guys can like find ways to get me more customers.
Okay, what are you doing to get more customers now?
Just direct mail and word of mouth referral. Google's
Okay.
PPCs.
And what's kind of changed recently to where you actually want to kind of maybe try something different?
I just want, like every business, we just want more leads in. I just
Okay.
I want more. I want all my guys to eat. More contractors, more jobs.
Skinny contractors, right? They're the worst.
Yeah, guys
Yeah.
who drink beer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? Okay, well, like what's changed where you actually want to start doing something different though? Like has something either stopped working or you sort of like what's happened?
Yeah, we want to get to maybe like another suburb.
Okay.
Maybe
Why is that?
Just like expand. I think we should go to
Okay.
we're pretty well known in Parramatta. Might as
Okay.
well.
Nice. When did you start doing like when did you start wanting to make that shift?
Like I haven't really felt like just wanting probably in the last few months. Like
Okay. So over the last few months, what have you done to kind of move that needle?
nothing.
Okay.
My cousin's sister does sassy social media, or
Okay.
she said some ads or something.
Okay, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if you know much about what we do. What we do is X and Y and Z. But what might be easiest, man, is just to kind of book you in one of the guys. They can sort of, really dive in as to what you're looking for when it comes to figuring out how to kind of make that jump into some of those different suburbs and become well known there as well. Would that work for you, or like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he doesn't, and maybe he puts up more of a fight, but like it's a pretty pleasant conversation. It's nice and quick. I understand that he knows the value proposition. I understand the problem that he has. I have to get down to the problem of like what is different now. I need to get that thing, which most people aren't very good at getting. And it's just a really nice, easy conversation. It doesn't have to be more than that. If I do more than that, I'm going to run the risk of either one, like driving more need than what's required, right? Which will get them to potentially look for a solution before they end up talking to the closer, right? Which is the thing that happens. Or I'm going to end up like doing more than what I need. So the sales rep then has to like they're going to ask the same questions. And a lot of like setters, for example, they go too deep into the conversation. A setting call, in my opinion, is 4 minutes. Like if your calls are going for 18, 19 minutes, a lot of them are. I know I own a dialer, right? I see these fucking set calls for 20 minutes. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like we've been talking for 17 minutes. We've gone over a lot. Right? Like, you know what I mean? And there is literally no correlation. There's zero correlation between length of call, okay, and show up rate. Right?
Matt, can I ask a question? Because that's good. I'm sure we all need to know this too. Like, is that trigger where you're wanting to find out what's changed? Is that kind of like where it should get to before you move them on to a longer call? Like, is that really the...
I find that's just an important thing, because a lot of people pay it off, and they just don't understand that is the thing that sort of drives the urgency and it is the new inflection point, right? You know, it's sort of, hey, what's changed recently? Well, you know, I'm just getting a bit older. Okay, but you've been getting older since the day you were born. So has anything actually shifted recently to where you're like, oh, I really want to get a hold of this? You know, and so there's all these like throwaway lines that these prospects are giving. And it's just because the questions that are being asked are a bit vague, or they're not specific enough, and then we don't probe enough for the answers. But if I can figure out what somebody wants, what they're doing about it, why they're doing it, you know, and then like, you know, what's the catalyst that's caused them to do something? Because nobody goes from doing nothing to doing something without a catalyst. There is something that's happened. Oh, you know, I'm just getting a bit older. Okay, well, you've been getting older your whole life. Well, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, they just say stupid things. They're like inane. And it's like, what the problem is, though, a lot of sales reps, they just take that as the answer. But that is not the answer to the question. It's like if I say, hey, Jay, what happens if you go to your wife and she says no? And you say, well, I don't think she would. Man, it's not an answer. That's just a statement to a completely unrelated question. You know, I didn't ask you if you thought she would be on board. I asked you if she says no, what do you do? And so it's learning to not take that first question, the first answer, sorry, and learning how to get the actual answer, you know, in those different parts. And that's what allows people to move through sales quickly. Otherwise, it's like a festering wound that just stays there in the background. And then it just, you know, kills you with sepsis when you pitch.
And then with that information, right, what's the transition to like now when the closer jumps on? Does he use a little bit of that? Hey, I know you spoke to like Jim last week. What's that transition? So he goes into it. Does he just do the whole thing again?
I mean, I think that if we talk about reality, I mean, I don't know how many closers are reading the notes. Like let's reality, you know. I didn't really like reading the notes. Like if I got applications come through, I never read the application. I did that on purpose because I felt like it gave me an inaccurate sense of that person, because I did this because when I was selling fitness for a long time, the longer the application, the worse the lead. That was what I found. Right. And because I would see these people write diatribes about their life and then they would never pick up, or they'd be like, and it was crazy. And I was like, this person just like, and then what I started to think was that like, they're just like looking for an outlet. And it was like, if they opt in for a fitness program at 2 a.m., they are not doing it. I can tell you that right now. That's just a dude fucking, you know,
maybe they're sad.
That's a dude with PNC who, like, you know, and then all of a sudden he's you know, he's back to being a piece of shit by the time the morning comes around, right? But yeah, it's you know, it's an interesting one. So I just never read that stuff because I wanted to go in completely fresh. I didn't want to have any any mindset about that person. Oh, they're broke or this. I just was like, I'm going to do the same thing for everyone, and I don't want to have my judgment clouded. But in saying that, I would say a little recap is probably a good thing, because you don't want to double speak the questions. It makes it sound like you're doing a thing. Like imagine if you went to a comedy club and the opener, you know what I mean? Like the opening act had like half the same jokes. You'd be like, fuck is going on here? Right? You'd be weirded out by it. All right. All right, cool. Anthony.
Yo, yeah, just while you were on that sort of topic there with like the setting call and like those running over, man, some of my setters, like I've seen literally like 30-minute setting calls, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
It's because they want to be closers.
I think like, yeah, well, that's why I was kind of curious. Like, I know obviously you run sort of that first part of the disco kind of similarly, but when it comes to like something I've noticed they draw out on is like they start selling the product. And I'm like, your job is not to sell the product, it's to sell the call with the closer. But I'm just kind of curious, like, I don't know, do you have any, I guess, pointers on how I could maybe get them to reduce that part of it, like
I mean,
post discovery?
you could scream at them.
Is that your recommendation?
It's a valid technique. Yeah, I mean, like people should do as they're told if they're working for you. Yeah, I mean, like if I told them not to do that and then I did a training, they did it, I would hop onto a training and I would publicly fire one of them. That's what I would do. But I'm not the nicest guy in the world to work for, right? So, unless if you do a good job, I am. If you don't, I'm not for sure, right? So.
Yeah.
But so I would that's a legitimate strategy, and I'm not joking when I say that. Like, find the worst one, you execute one, you educate 1,000, right? Old school tactic, works very well, especially when it comes to people fucking around. If they find out, generally it fixes the issue. But also write them a script, let them know they're probably doing more harm than good. So 30-minute set calls are outrageous stupid. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that is a crazy and completely useless call. But it's an enormous waste of time for them, for the prospect. It's probably making things worse for the sales rep, I would say. And I would dollars to donuts say that there is absolutely zero correlation between a show up rate and those calls going past a certain point. The whole point of a set call, I don't even think it's to sell the set call. I think it's to go, do your problems line up with our solutions? Yes, cool. Let's find out more. It's a 5-minute call. And I can role play it in 5 minutes. And I go, is there anything else that I needed? They're like, no. It's like, so why does it take you 30? And it's because they don't understand the difference between interesting and productive information. So I'm going to use weight loss as an example because it's really easy and ubiquitous and everyone gets it, right? So if I'm trying to set someone for a high ticket fitness call and I starts talking to me about their current nutrition program and their current fitness program and their current lifestyle, I couldn't give a fuck. It makes no difference to me. Why? Because it will not change the prescription. If it doesn't change the prescription, it's not relevant information, right? So if I'm a setter and I'm selling lead gen services and I start talking to them about their current lead generation campaigns, I couldn't give a fuck. I would never go down that line of conversation, right? It's a total waste of time. If I'm talking about sales, one of the things that I used to always argue with people with at 7th was oh, we need to find out what they currently do for sales. I was like, well, I outsold all of you, and I don't think that's true. I don't care how they sell. I don't care what they do. I don't give a fuck because it's not going to change my pitch. So if the whole thing is we're selling someone into a product and a program and a service, right, that's supposed to solve the problem, if it doesn't change how we solve the problem, I don't understand the relevance of it.
I guess in their perspective, it's
but they're wrong.
Back for building a gap. Yeah.
But they're not building a gap. They're not building a gap. If I say, okay, run me through your current nutrition program, and we spend 5 minutes going through the nutrition. What about your current training? 5 minutes going through their current training. Have I built any gap? Or could I just say, hey, what are you doing to kind of lose weight at the moment? Cool. Oh, I'm just doing some training, some nutrition, stuff like that. Cool. Is it working? No, it's not. Okay. How long have you been trying? For 4 months. And how much have you lost? I've lost 5 pounds. Okay, cool. So you're looking for something to make it faster? Cool. What shifted recently to where you want to make it go faster? I built more of a gap in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. I mean,
so it's
I'd be
just
curious.
Stupid diatribes because people think that people want to make sales harder than it is because they get super butthurt that they suck at it. Right?
Yeah.
That's why people go on about fear objections and shit. It's nah, you probably just didn't have a very good value problem. That's really what it is, right? Being all fucking meh, it's people are overcomplicating it, right? And it's because there's too much sales training, and too much sales training is a lack of nuance, just overly do this. When in reality, there's not really any correct ways of doing things. or incorrect ways of doing things. It's just whatever works. Like if you come to me and say my set calls are 45 minutes and I have a 96% show rate and they close like a motherfucker, I would go, fucking dude, don't change a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like ever. Don't ever change that. Like I don't care if you're screaming like a Wookiee. You know what I mean? But what I can say is that like that's not how it goes most of the time. And so I can usually diagnose it. But if you just keep it simple and like everyone uses additive measures, right? So what they do is like when they have a problem, they add to their script or they add to their sales process or they add to this, right? When in reality, if you just start reducing stuff down, you'll find that you can probably cut out 25, 30, 50% of what you do and it will have no tangible difference whatsoever. Right.
Yeah.
And so that means you can just do more stuff in the same amount of time. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm curious if you like Yaya's question in the chat. Do you think you're probably going to say fuck no, but in the chat here, he dropped a question saying if it's different for like an Ascension offer.
No, I don't see why it's different. I mean, I'm a part of a business that does exclusively Ascension offers, and we do $7 million a month. Right. So like, that's working all right.
Gangster.
Yeah, but 20 upsells are hard. I think they're harder. Right. Like selling buyer leads is arguably harder than selling non-buyer leads. It's different. It's a different type of difficult, right?
Waiting on that training.
What's that?
Waiting on that training.
It's just a different proposition, right? Because like they've already bought something, so but at least you have an inbuilt objection. So it's just people complain that they get objection like, oh, they just want to try it first. Yeah, of course, mate. They bought a thing, so the whole sales call has to like be around stopping that. You've got to you got to build value in different ways, right? But it presents problems. Okay, cool. Jake.
I've been selling fitness for like 5 years, as you know, in my own business, and very comfortable with that. But I've also started recently selling like an offer for another company, like social media growth. And I've taken like 2 calls so far, so very early days, but I feel very like lost on the calls. Like, I feel like I couldn't use the same script or even the framework. Certain questions that work well in fitness probably don't work as well for like entrepreneurs and stuff. I'm curious what your thoughts are on how to like make that switch.
I don't think you need to change much at all. You know what I mean? It's selling people. It's just like you're just a bridge, just like a Sherpa from the one side of the bridge to the other. You know what I mean? I don't sell any differently, really. If I'm selling B2C, B2B. Like there are certain products that I'll sell differently, but it's sort of just when it's a really, really, really good product that kind of sells itself. It's a little bit different. If you try and go through the whole, bonanza of shit, it ends up just sort of not helping you. But that's pretty rare.
But the framework is the same. Like
exact same.
I identify the goal. What are they doing? Identify it's not working.
Yep. It's no different. Like if you can sell fitness, you can sell anything. Like just sell it the same way. Just insert fucking weight for followers. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. People don't want to lose 10 kilos. They want to get XYZ that happens when they lose 10 kilos. People don't want 100,000 followers. They want what happens when you get 100,000 followers, whatever it is, right? That's how it works. You sell the result of the thing. And like the mechanism of how you get there is like, it's just what it is. So, you can sell business coaching, you can sell lead generation, you can sell sales training. At the end of the day, you're selling the same shit. Right? It's all relatively interchangeable.
I think I'll wrap up. That was helpful, but I think part of it is like I'm not used to selling something that's not my own offer, and that's like a weird adjustment as well. So maybe I don't have the conviction or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've only had 2 calls, so I would say you don't really have enough data points to sort of make any assertions yet, right? Assertions, sorry. So, but what I would say is that is a different thing, because you can't sort of like bully people like you can when you're. I don't mean that like negatively. I sort of mean like bulldozy, right? So, but like you just get used to it. To be honest, it's a pretty normal thing. So, but I would just go in there and just realize that you're just there to figure out how to solve a problem. It's the same thing. And the more similar you do it, the better you'll go.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
sweet. Jay.
I'm having two current concerns lately, adding more consequence and more ramification into the pitch map. And then also, all this happens to a lot of people. I go through the frameworks that, you've taught and Jeremy's taught and stuff like that. When someone opens up so much at the beginning and they're giving so much,
that's a problem.
Okay. So if they're opening up, like, okay, no, I basically want to say, shut up, I'm not ready at that point yet, right? But do we play into that? Or do we, no, like, then I'll get to that part later on.
Yeah, you just have to sort of tactically try and delay some of it, because you want to, the problem is if they open up too early, then like, they can put themselves in that sort of out, Taylor Welch kind of buying pocket thing he talks about, right? So it's like they get too down. If you go too far to the left, then you end up having like no confidence in yourself. And then you go too far to the right and they think that they can do everything by themselves. And you want them kind of in that middle zone where it's like, I know I can do it, but I know I need you. And generally speaking, true buyers don't really open up like that. Because there's an element of inbuilt skepticism when someone is willing to part with money. Like if you've ever seen going to like a house showing and then there's like the people running around claiming rooms, they're not buying the house. It's the guy that's like, is this floor a bit on the slant? Like is that a watermark over there? Like what's going on? They're looking for flaws. Because they want some sort of power in the negotiation. Like that is a buyer. Because again, if you're gonna, there's a vulnerability in saying, yes, I want this. And so if you feel like someone's got too much emotional ammunition against you, then you're gonna feel uncomfortable because you could be taken advantage of.
But you know how sometimes you get on a call and they'll give you a lot of data and it's just like, do I stop them in the tracks before I get to like more of those pain things? Like they're opening up, I haven't had a job for 6 months and I'm looking right now. It's like, do I keep letting them speak and use that as ammo?
Yeah, you're like yes, but you've got to do it without shutting them down and making them feel like you're not a safe person to talk to, as fucking gay as that sounds, right? You got to be like, okay, like, yeah, okay, like that all makes sense. I'm just wondering though. And then kind of get back into it, because that you want them to open up again later. It's just important that you do things in the right order. And so if it's not in the right order, like if you don't understand what they want, you can't understand the right problem. The right problem will never get you to like the true solution, because like that why are you here want, it's like like weight loss. Okay, cool. Weight loss is enough for me. Then I'm going to be like problem, then solution. Right, the problem is associated with weight loss. Then the once I find the problem, then I can transition to the real solution, which is like, what are the emotional outcomes of weight loss? Like that's the real solution. Then once I get that real solution, then I can get the real consequence, because the consequence is not of not solving the problem. The consequence is of not achieving the solution. And I think it's a more powerful way of doing it, where instead of doing the consequence on the problem, you do it on the solution. What happens if you never figure out a way to, and then it's like insert ideal outcome, instead of like, what happens if you never figure out how to like, what happens if you don't, figure out how to stop XYZ from happening, which is like, like the problem from getting worse. I think that people are really good with living with problems for a very long period of time. Just generally speaking.
Can you frame that up to me again? So
So
instead
if
of saying,
so let's just say your problem is like so like what happens if you don't figure out how to get a system in place to where you're not just like constantly in that sort of like middle management grind. Okay? What happens if you never figure out a way to get a solution in place to where you can actually position yourself, you know what I mean, and get to, right? And you're like, you know, the CEO of XYZ so that you can. And so it's like tangible emotional outcome instead of solving a problem. Problem is this is where you are. But I want to attach the consequence to not achieving the solution. And I find that like that's for me, it's like just a more pleasant conversation because it's more of an aspirational conversation. And it's like, I think hope is a more powerful thing than what fear is. You know? So if you're doing consequence of the problem, it's like inciting fear in staying where you are or potentially getting worse. But I would like to like go like, don't like, let's get the hope. Like, let's maintain the hope. Right? People would do far more from hope than what they will from fear. Just generally speaking. Make sense?
yeah, okay,
Yeah. And I just find it's like a more positive conversation. And I think like if you get too deep, you know, like if the consequence is like getting worse, right? Then you can get real like depression deep and it becomes like a 2007 mixtape, you know, like when you break up and it's just not a super fun vibe. Whereas if it's all like, let's figure out how to get to the end, then I think it's better.
will you hit the ramification like once typically, or will you try them like, or is there's not like a right or wrong? It's just like
there's no right or wrong. You're just looking for like the right outcome from them, which is like I call it like the contemplative sigh. Like that's like they know. You know? You don't even have to like twist the knife. It's like they know. And you can see it. Their wheels are turning. Make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Sick, brother. All right. Duchamp.
Yeah, you got it, man. One question though, how can somebody increase their conviction when they're speaking with a prospect?
I mean,
is that just watching more testimonials of the company, or?
I mean, no. To be honest, I mean, Jay might be even a better person to talk about this than me, to be fair, because like stage patter. Jay was a professional like magician. He was a nerd autist professionally. So right?
Hey, man,
No, but you pick
you play with
pockets and
cards
shit.
every day, Matt.
I did.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? I think like conviction, like you're almost talking about like charisma essentially, because like conviction is just, it's like how you talk. You know, like if you look at someone like an Andy Elliott, right? Great example. I mean, pure conviction, right? Like, I mean, the dude just oozes conviction. Like, is that, but you could probably give him, you could give him a stick and he would, with 1000% conviction in his voice, tell you that it's a fucking car. You know, that's not, but that's a really good thing. Does that make sense? Like being able to do that. That's just who he is. If you're not someone that talks with conviction, then you're not going to fake it. Or you have to learn how to fake it, which is acting. You know, like it's not like I don't know. That's my hot take on it. You know, I'm a very forthright and I speak with a lot of conviction. But like I could speak with a lot of conviction about total nonsense. You know, I have a high level of belief in me. And I feel like that's sort of where conviction comes from. It's not really about the product, not about the service. It's just about like, I know me and I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know. I could be wrong. But Jay, have you seen any of that stuff? Like when it comes to say, like guys, you know, because obviously like, oh, shit. Sorry, like when it comes to guys, I guess like learning how to do stage pattern and stuff like that, you obviously have to be, you know, you got to misdirect and do all that kind of shit, right? So have you seen any sort of techniques where people learn that stuff and they sort of get better at it?
I think there's a better story like 10 years ago when like you guys remember when like the whole like dating scene, like how to pick up women came out and like they were teaching.
What was his
like,
name? Mystery? Right?
Yeah, Mystery and like Neil Strauss and like there was a big
Peacocking. Peacocking.
Yeah.
The guy was wearing
But
goggles on his head in the club. That was a wild time in the world, man.
Yeah, when they were only like little phones. But it was really interesting because the psychology behind how they would teach typically nerdy guys behind computers all day have the certainty to go speak to like women that they've never been spoken to. They speak to the Chinese lady to get their like Friday night food. And they were just like, just speak from like, you know what you're talking about. And like, there's a conviction of like certainty that would come across to the women. They're like, oh, like every time they speak, they're like speaking with like authority or passion. So, you know, that's just my take on it. Like,
yeah,
people are looking for experts. People are looking that you know more than them. That's where they're coming to.
That's actually that's a really good point. It's conviction and certainty just comes from you feel like you know what you're talking about. Because if I'm searching for words, like it's a difficult one, or if I'm like it's just I know that I'm confident about what I'm saying. It's got nothing to do with anything else, realistically.
If you know a bit more about your offer, I think it definitely helps. Like a lot of closers don't take the time to learn. You know, you don't need to be like a fucking guy who can rewrite it from scratch. But if you just know a bit more about the offer and
but what I'll say with that,
but
that's not because of the reason that you think, right? That's not because it gives them more confidence. It just means that they can answer questions more confidently because they actually know what they're saying. Right? But I could bullshit that 100%. I'm a good bullshitter.
You could.
Yeah, no, because I'm a good
naturally
bullshitter.
Forthright.
Yes, no, for sure.
You know
but
what I mean?
It's not because it gives them more confidence in the program.
Yeah.
Right?
I just think it
allows them to answer the question without stammering and stuttering because they actually know the answer.
But
right?
even like questions aside, I think just removing imposter syndrome so they don't feel like I'm a closer, but I am actually somebody who knows more on this subject than the person I'm talking to.
Yeah, but the thing is though, they probably don't. So if I'm selling, like if I'm, you know, I'm never going to know more about roofing than a roofer, right? So, and I'm a setter. If I'm a setter or a sales guy, I've never done lead generation for a roofer. That roofer has done it because they are a roofer and they have got leads. So I'm never going to know more about them. Right. So if you're trying to place yourself as like, you just need to know more, then it's like, well, I'm never going to do that. So I need to know more about the program, but you need to stop pretending that you're an expert. You know what I mean? Like I sell some medical offers and I've fired reps for like even the slight one, it's illegal, but like they will intimate that they're a medical professional. It'll be a tiny little like seed, or they won't correct someone, right? Because they're lying to themselves because that's how they feel like they need to position themselves. You do not have to position yourself as an expert. You do not have to position yourself as the guy who knows all. You are a fucking sales guy. And I will say that. Be like, oh man, I'm the sales guy. What are we talking about here? And be like, that's not my job, man. My job is to help connect you to get you across the right bridge. Like, I am not the expert here. Oh, I want to speak to the expert. You want to go into a program where like you can talk to the owner in the sales environment? Like, oh, that sounds like a shitty program, man. That guy should be busy helping clients. Right? You know what I mean? Yeah. You're not an expert. You're not a fitness expert. You're not a lead gen expert. You're just a fucking sales guy. Right? And like you have to sit in that realm and be cool with that. Because I'm never going to know more about contracting than a builder. I'm never going to know more about lead generation than a fucking this. So like I have to play my role. You know? Yeah. Otherwise it gets dangerous. Abel?
Yeah, so my question is, how do you last couple calls I've been getting a lot of like when I bring up when I try to do the consequence or even sometimes the solution, I get, well, like I said, not that aggressively, but they'll say, like I said, because I'm bringing up something they gave me productive, not productive, but what's the other one?
Interesting.
It's interesting information they gave me too soon, and so I'm trying to remind them later when it's appropriate, but they'll say like I said, and I feel like there's some resistance there.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, just you have to ask it in a different way. Yeah, or you have to ask it with adding context. It's like, if someone goes, the sky is blue, and then 5 minutes later you go, so you mentioned the color of the sky. They'd be like, well, like I said, it was fucking blue. You know what I mean? But if you go, hey, when you said the sky was blue, like what kind of blue was it? They're gonna go, well, it was a this. Right? Obviously, it's a ridiculous example, but I'm just trying to be like obvious. You know what I mean? So you want to they either need to add context to it, right?
Yeah.
Add context and detail, so
Yeah.
that you're trying to like you have a genuine question about it. You get the like I said when it doesn't sound genuine, because if you were like, sorry, what did you mean? They're gonna go, like I said. It's like, well, that would be a dick answer.
Yeah.
Because clearly I didn't understand you.
So it might be a tone thing, just like execution of the tone.
Yeah, for sure. It could be that, or it could be that you're not asking for detail.
For detail.
Right? So you're just asking the same question again. If you ask the same question again, it makes people feel like you weren't listening, and then they get frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely just ask for more detail and context around that specific thing.
Okay.
Right?
And then
help.
My last question is, I'm getting people, because I sell trading algorithms, so it's kind of like a, I guess, specific part of trading. What I'm getting a lot is, hey, I'm doing this, I'm already in this 30-day trial with this other massive company, right? So is that like, does that now get treated as an ascension offer, or how do you handle that? Like, I'm in a trial already with somebody else.
With somebody else? What's not an ascension if it's somebody else? You're trying to
like the
take
approach.
them away.
Like, how would you approach that?
Well, it's sort of more along the lines, and then why are they here?
Yeah.
Right. And then you want to figure out, like, if they're in a trial, like, then why are they looking for other things? Okay. Because there's obviously something that's missing. Otherwise, they would not be on the call. So you have to figure out why very specifically they're on the call. And it's not going to be like, well, because I saw it and I thought. It's like, no. There's something that's happening or not happening that has made you want to look elsewhere. Like, nobody who's happily married goes on Tinder. It's like, oh, I'm just for a couple of dates. Just a couple of dates. It's a big deal.
And if
like,
you find out what
but
that
just a couple of dates.
And if you find out what that is early in the call,
then that's the linchpin for the entire thing. Because if that's the thing that you have that they don't, then all of their results is linchpinned off that thing.
Okay. And then when they bring that up at the end, you just go into objection handling.
Yeah, well, it's all, well, you've got to like smash, like if you have X and Y and Z and they have X and Y, then I only talk about Z the whole time. That's it. That's the only thing we talk about. Z. What happens if you get Z? Why do you want Z? What happens when you get it? What happens if you don't get it? Like, the whole thing is around Z, right? Okay.
I see.
Yeah. Oliver.
I'll make this quick. No, there's more questions. So I was just like, how do you know when someone has given you like the real motivator and not just kind of something fake?
There's two answers. One is less frustrating than the other. One is that, like, with life comes that knowledge. Okay. You can tell when people are just, the more conversations you have, the more you can tell. The second is like, there's generally some tells. One, people will usually slow down when they're talking about something that's more important to them. So if someone is telling you something and it's very quick, if they answer that question very quickly and they don't have to think about it at all, they have said that a lot. That would mean that it's probably a surface level thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you want to lose weight? Well, just like that. That doesn't mean anything. Okay. So slow talking, pausing in odd places, and generally like looking up are really good signs that someone is thinking and actually sort of working through that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cool. No worries. Sage.
Heyo. Was wondering, because so as far as the objection related to like reviews, I've only ever heard the answer to that where it's like you kind of put it more on them, like, or
How many have you seen? Well, we've had over 10,000 clients, so I'm not a math wizard, but 4 bad reviews with 10,000 clients is 99.994% success rate. So that's not bad, right? That one?
Yeah.
You heard that one?
I think I'm stumbling because I'm realizing that the question I'm asking is like something I just got yesterday that I don't normally get. So I'm like asking you about it when it's probably a waste of time.
Fair.
But maybe a better question I could ask you, although it's more so related to like problem awareness, solution awareness stuff. I feel like I'm tripping myself up when I'm selling solar because it's not that consequential, and sometimes I feel really awkward.
So don't
I
sell it like
feel
it
so
is.
awkward trying to. So I just have to be really nonchalant the whole time. I'm not doing really concerned tone.
No.
Never.
No.
All right.
Just don't do it. It's just weird.
I probably lost so many sales that way.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like you have to put everything in context of what you sell. Like, Sveta, you sell gym memberships like off the floor. You got to do it quick, and you can't go, what happens if you don't?
Yeah. What if you don't do anything about
this? Yeah, you're just like, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Like, what are we doing? Bro, I got shit to be, and there's 9 gyms around the corner. Like,
how do you do a nonchalant consequence question then?
Well, you can just change the words.
Like,
you can also not do it.
You think you just skip it?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think it'd be appropriate to? Because I think I have an easy time with the first part of solution awareness, where it's like, okay, like what have you done to solve this in the past? And that's been amazing, challenging them on the like, oh, why not? That's something that's been really good.
Just go a little bit
that I've learned from you
more.
lately.
Okay, who's the most successful guy in your fucking office?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some guy named.
Is he hypey as fuck?
Is he hypey?
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 best guys in the office.
go.
One of them's mega hype, and the other one is like borderline retarded. Like talks super slow, takes his time saying everything.
And who does better?
So it's like 2 opposite approaches. They both do kind of the same.
Okay, sweet. I mean, so obviously don't be a retard, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to, slip in an extra chromosome if we don't need to. But you could try it. It might work. There's no wrong. There's just whatever works, right? But I think like just natural. That to me says that like there's not any one thing that's a massive linchpin in the sale, right? So you can fuck around with it and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think the precise question that I'm trying to ask is, for solution, how do I, because like the past solutions is the easy part for me, but when I get to the like, how would it feel? Let's say this worked out, and 5 years later you're paying half of what everyone else is paying, and you're not having to like, you're not worried about what the rates are going to be. Like, I feel like how would that feel is a bit too much, but like
for sure it's way too much. Be like, would you be stoked?
So how would that be different?
Would you be pumped? Would you be happy with that? Yeah, I would. How so? Well, it'd be great.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, just keep it breezy, brother. You know what I mean?
I just need to talk more like I actually talk.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You be you. Yeah. Don't be somebody else. Right. Again, everything's in context. I think if you do that, you'll be better. Sveta.
Yeah, me again. Actually, it's a follow-up question on what you said earlier today. You were saying you're suggesting to shorten the conversation. I completely agree with you. But what I started feeling that after I shorten the conversations, it's becoming more and more surface level, and I feel that we are commoditized. So over the last...
Yeah, but you are a commodity. It's a gym.
I know, but I don't know how to stop it. I know that we are commodity.
Smash through them. Just
What do you mean?
smash through it.
What do you mean by that?
Do it quickly, and then just go like, you just gonna keep looking around at gyms, or you actually gonna get in a fucking sling a dumbbell every now and then? What are we doing, buddy?
I'm looking for a gym that will be the most cost effective.
Okay, or the best results. So if you want the cheapest gym, that's not us. Unless it is, obviously, I don't know. But if you're the cheapest gym, that's fine, right? But if you want the cheap gym, you just got to find some of the cool, expensive shit here and just take some of it out. So if you don't want some of the cool, expensive shit, then go to the cheap gym, which is fine. As long if you're just looking for dumbbells, make it on the road. But if you want like more facilities, nicer facilities, equals more money. You know what I mean? So you just got to think: is that, and that worth the extra $5 a month?
We have a specific objection. We have another gym that has a little bit even cooler facilities, and it is cheaper.
Well, that's a fucking problem, isn't it? That's what happens when the product. You just got to hope they don't know about that.
This is exactly like, I think those people who at the end of the day buy, they don't know about that gym.
For sure. There's a new gym that just opened up in my area, and it's absolutely decimating the other ones. And I joined it.
Yeah.
Decimating. And it is more expensive, but it's fucking way better. It's the best gym I've ever been in. It's the new Bondi Junction Virgin, like ultra platinum 1J. It's sick. It's got this huge, giant cold plunge and giant fucking spa, and it's got like saunas and this big. It's the second sickest gym. It's got a co-working space. People are in there all fucking day.
Those Virgin gyms are cracked.
How much? Like what's the ones here? $300 a month. And
no, it's $100 a week. But it's capped at 1,500 members. It's fucking sick. It's the best gym I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah, it got a full. It's crazy. It's beautiful. The sales reps wear linen head to toe.
So I have a question. How is this say like at that level? Did they have to hard sell, or they just like it's that good? Take it or leave it.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it's that good. You take it or leave it, motherfucker. They're like, hey, we have a limited membership. I was like, sign me up. It's like it was the easiest. It was that casual is $75. A casual, just gym. I was like, what the fuck? All right. And then they were like, on the way out, they were like, hey, we'll credit your casual towards a membership. I was like, oh, snap. Here you go.
The answer for Sveta is go sell at the other gym.
Yeah, for sure.
No. Yeah, there are some intents.
You can't outsell someone having a better product.
Yeah, but it's not exactly like facility might be looking at.
You find the difference, Sveta, and then use that to sell.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
if someone has the same product and a better product, but for a cheaper price, like that is a product issue, not a sales issue. And if I'm like a sales rep and someone's like, you got to up your game, and I have like data, I'm like, well, maybe we should lower our prices or compete with them because we're losing everyone to them because they have a better product for a cheaper price.
But if I create the urgency at the moment of conversation with me,
maybe
I can.
Maybe, probably not though.
Okay, yeah. Differentiator.
If someone has a better product for the same or cheaper price, they should go with the other person.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like they should go and get a better product. So like at the end of the day, like you can't outsell that. You can sell people, but I'm saying if you're looking for a consistent, how do I overcome the fact that there is a better product for a cheaper price just down the road? It's like, well, you can't. You just can't overcome that. Like that's a totally reasonable, 100% valid, and they should get a better product for a cheaper price.
Okay.
So, but you just have to hope that like you do enough of a job to where they're like, oh, I like this chick, I'm going to sign up. Right?
There are a few differentiators. I will focus on those ones.
You have to find the differentiator. If it's X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, and you have a 4 and they don't, then everything is on the 4.
Okay,
right. All right.
Yeah,
last question. I gotta roll. Vit.
Yeah. Hey. Just how do you define excellent question versus like bad one? I guess.
Whoa. How? I don't understand. What did you say? What does that mean?
How do you? What's like great question versus what's like bad question?
Well, this is a bad question. No, I'm just fucking with you.
No, I guess like you're having conversation and basically you ask like someone, and how you know if like what you've asked is, I don't know, if the question is of high enough quality, if it makes sense.
The answer or the question?
The question.
I'm trying. Just give me a minute. I'll get it. I'll figure it out.
Okay. So bad question from my side, I guess.
Okay. First of all, let's use this as an example. It's a difficult question to answer. Okay? A difficult question to answer is either an extremely good question or an extremely bad question.
Okay.
Right? This one could go either way, and a lot of the time it depends on the answer. If I nail the fucking answer, hell of a question, young man. Right? So a good question generally in sales is something that provides enough context in order to be able to answer it easily, but has enough challenging to where it requires some thought. So it goes a little bit past like the surface, but you might have to do that with probes. So I would say a really good question in sales is something where the intent of the answer is super clear, right? So why is that important to you now, though, is not as good as a question as why is that important to you now, though? Okay? Same question, done slightly differently. One is better than the other because the intent of one is far clearer, so my answer is more predictable. Okay? Does that make sense? A vague question is a bad question because or it's a good question depending on what you're trying to do. If you're fishing, sometimes vague is good because it allows them to choose the direction, but it's hard to control. Okay? You know what I mean? So I would say like for you, all right, how long have you been in sales? I'll just put it in your context.
Like 9 months.
Okay, so
years,
so you're a newbie. You're still a tourist, right? So for you, a bad question is one that doesn't have a predictable answer. Okay, that's a bad question for you, right? A good question is one where the intent is super clear and you will predict the answer a high amount, like a good chunk of the time. So like the way that you worded the question initially, there was such a lack of context to it that there was no way I could answer it.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? The problem with that is that I'm a very confident person and I have no problem going, mate, I don't understand that. He said it again. And it takes a fairly confident person to say, I don't understand. Right? And so most people just answer in completely nonsensical ways to not have to seem like they didn't understand something because they're desperately ego driven. Right? You know, and which is going to be a lot of your prospects are not going to want to say, oh, sorry, what's that? I don't understand. And with you having an accent, you need to allow someone like in the call early on to say, hey, I know I have an accent. If you need me to repeat myself, just let me know. I won't take any offense. To give people that opportunity. You can even start it off by saying, I know I sound like 90s Bond villain, but I promise I'm a nice guy. Right? All right. Okay. All right, team. I gotta run. I'll catch you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. If you guys let me stop this. Stop the recording. Bingo, bango, bongo. If you guys on YouTube like this, you can join down below. It's like $140 a month. I do 2 of these a week. And then we have another 25 odd coaches that are coming on. And it's about 150 videos and like 15 coaching sessions a week that you get access to for like $149 a month. If you want to do that, down below. All right, bye.